regarding the cost of illegal immigration, a lot of people assert that they add so much to the economy, they add to Social Security, they're not eligible to get Social Security, so on par, they are a net positive economically for society. Is that true? There is an extensive study about this, came out June 2024, Center for Immigration Studies, by Stephen Camarata, who's been a guest on the program. Headline, The Cost of Illegal Immigration. Let's take a look at some of it before we bring on John Lott. He says, a fair read of the evidence indicates that illegal aliens are almost certainly a net fiscal drain. Not because they are illegal per se, nor is it because they are freeloaders or welfare cheats, or because they don't pay taxes. The reason is a large number of them have little or no education, which results in modest incomes and tax payments, even when they are paid on the books, and often they're not. The low incomes allow many to qualify for means-tested welfare programs, which they often receive on behalf of native-born children. Now, if Donald Trump gets his way, that calculation will change, because just because you have native-born children, if you are in the country illegally, it would mean that your native-born children are not entitled to certain benefits. But they are right now, based on the way the 14th Amendment has been, in my opinion, wrongly interpreted. And it said it doesn't matter how many are in the country, although the numbers are much larger than people say. Some estimate 10 or 11 million illegal aliens. A study done by, I believe it was Yale, put the number close to 25 or 30 million. That was before the 10 to 14 million allowed in the country in the last 4 years under the Bush-Harris administration. The Yale study, as I said, put it closer to 25, maybe even 30 million. According to the Migration Policy Institute, it is estimated that 70% of illegal aliens have no education beyond high school, which, by the way, is double that of the native-born population. 18% have bachelor's degrees, which is half the rate of the native-born. And they write that we can get a much better sense of the fiscal cost of illegal immigration by looking at the welfare system. Illegal aliens, like legal immigrants, are technically prevented from getting most welfare programs directly. But that bar, however, they write, is less meaningful than they realize. You look at major cash, food, housing programs, Medicaid. 59% of households headed by an illegal alien use one or more of these welfare programs, compared to 39% of native-headed households. Illegal alien households make especially high use of the Earned Income Tax Credit, the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infant, and children, free or reduced price school meals, Medicaid, food stamps. The cost just for these programs through illegal immigrants is roughly $42 billion annually. And they write, to be clear, the majority of illegal alien-headed households receiving welfare have at least one working member. But that does not preclude the use of the welfare system if one's income is low enough, which is often the case as to illegal aliens. They write, in the majority of states, low-income pregnant women can enroll in Medicaid regardless of their legal status. Let me repeat that. In a majority of states, low-income pregnant women can enroll in Medicaid regardless of their legal status. And several million illegal aliens, including those with deferred action from deportation, DACAs, those with temporary protective status, which Biden granted a bunch of illegal aliens, family of 4 earning $36,000, would pay no federal income tax, instead would receive a payment through the Earned Income Tax Credit of around $5,000. And aside from welfare, they write, public education is probably the largest single cost associated with illegal immigration. It is estimated that some 4 million children of illegal immigrants attend public school before the pandemic. Conservatively, the cost to educate these children is $68 billion annually, with many of them educated in school districts already struggling to educate so-called at-risk students. And they write that illegal aliens do pay some taxes, to the tune of $25.9 billion to the federal government alone. Quote, but the tax revenue they generate does not come close to covering their cost. Even though illegal aliens make up about 4.5% of the labor force, their payments represent less than 1% of taxes collected from various sources. Take the averages, look at the educational level of illegal aliens, the other things I just now mentioned, we end up with a lifetime net fiscal drain of $68,390 for each illegal alien living in the country. So the overall cost of illegal immigration is a huge, huge burden on our population. And they end their study with this. Our progressive system of spending and taxation means that low-wage workers collectively serve as a net drain on the nation's treasury. Cities and towns across America have worried for decades about losing their middle-class tax base. The negative impact on public coffers of less educated people is simply reality. Our permissive immigration policies make it easier for criminals and terrorists to enter, but the vast majority of illegal aliens are neither. Indeed, unskilled immigrants today are not all that different from those who came during the last wave of migration from 1880 to 1920. But America was a fundamentally different country then. The government back then represented just 3% of GDP in 1900, compared to 36% today. There was no welfare state. The arrival of low-income people, therefore, did not have the profound negative fiscal impact it has today. They conclude with this. We should have an immigration policy that reflects current economic and fiscal realities and enforce it. If we don't, we must accept the unavoidable drain on the public that will result. End of quote. George Borjas is a Harvard economist. He's probably done more work on the impact of legal and illegal immigration than maybe any other economist. And he says there are winners and losers behind illegal immigration. Winners obviously are the illegal immigrants themselves. People who hire them, often with lower wages than they'd pay Americans, often paying them under the table, often not paying certain benefits to which they would be entitled if they were legal workers. But the cohort that is most negatively hurt are unskilled people living in the inner city, black and brown people, who have to compete for jobs with the illegal aliens of similar or less education level. And the presence of illegal alien labor puts downward pressure on the wages of those who live and work in the inner city in America. Often black and brown people, the very people that people on the left purport to care about. Thanks for watching these clips from The Larry Elder Show. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment. More thought-provoking discussions are just a click away, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.